Hello, my name is Tanner Fry, and I'm an undergraduate research assistant at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Today I am presenting a dataset and an approach for identity resolution of 38 million author IDs extracted from 2 billion Git commits. The other authors who have contributed to this project include Tapajit, Andrey, Karnauch, and Dr. Audris Mockus. In this paper, we propose a method that finds all author IDs belonging to a single developer in this dataset of authors and share the list of all author IDs that were found to have aliases. The source of this data comes from the world of code. We use version Q, which contains roughly 38 million authors, where each author has 3 attributes documented: their first name, their last name, and their email address. The methods of linking author identities is as follows. First, the 38 million author IDs go through an initial block phase. In this phase, author IDs are grouped together based on similarities in first names, last names, author IDs, and email addresses. If an author is placed into a block by itself, it will not move forward to the next phase, since a block containing only one author is already seen as an individual. The next phase is focused on checking the blocks previously created to ensure that all authors in the blocks are in fact the same developer, and if not, subblocks will then be created. For this phase, a random forest model using pairwise comparisons within blocks is used to determine if all the author IDs within a block are the same developer. The results of this process provide all linked author IDs within their own respective block that represent a single developer. From the initial 38 million authors, roughly 15.2 million authors were found in the initial creation of ID blocks with a block size of 2 or more. From those 15.2 million author IDs, we were able to identify that roughly 14.8 million author IDs were linked to at least one other author ID belonging to roughly 5.5 million different developers, with the median number of aliases per developer being 2. From the data that we have created, we will be sharing the following. First is the dataset with all 14.8 million author IDs that were found to have an alias, which is stored in a CSV file with a semicolon separator. If an author was found to have 2 different IDs, for example I1 and I2, then it is recorded in the file as 2 separate lines, with the lines being I1 semicolon I1 and I1 semicolon I2. Essentially, the first column is the group identifier, while the second column is the author identifier. Next, we also are sharing the source code for creating the dataset, including the scripts and the pre-trained random forest model we used. Also, a README file describing how the scripts are used will be provided. Lastly, we share the data that had blocking performed using all 3 heuristics, and it is in a gzipped semicolon separated text file containing the block ID, the frequency of the first name, the frequency of the last name, the full name, the email address, and the author ID of each author. The frequency values of the first and last names of an author are generated with respect to how common they are found throughout the 38 million authors in the original dataset. All links for the shared data is provided in the paper. Some future work that we have planned for this model is to add an additional training data, add additional training attributes, such as the frequency values for both first names and last names of authors, and we plan to address the issue of homonyms, where author IDs are being used by multiple developers. Also, we plan to implement the ID resolution model as a tool on the World of Code website. With such tool, a user will be able to upload their own set of author IDs and get back a grouping scheme for which IDs represent a developer. In conclusion, we expect to update the data as the information from more projects is collected and as larger training data sets and more accurate blocking and matching models are established. Also, we plan to implement the future work strategies previously mentioned for improving the model and plan to create a web-based tool for interacting with the model for ID resolution. Thank you.